What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Odd Chopper channel. This is UFC 286 Best Bets, and I'm your host, Mike, better known as NarcoCop on Twitter. And we are here again for UFC 286. What a banger of a card. Great card here with the trilogy of the Usman Edwards main event, and also a great co-main event in Justin Gaethje versus Rafael Fiziev. Before we move on to our picks, I do want to shout out our Discord here at Odd Chopper. There's a link down below. First week, half off you get to enter our Discord. And in our Discord, some great minds in there. We have every betting market out there, major market. We're talking about NBA, NFL, NHL, college basketball, college football, and also MMA. Yours truly, I'm in there as well, giving my entire UFC 286 card. And so far, it's been a great time in this Discord, man. I've been crushing it with my cards week after week. Been crushing the plays here as well. So if everybody's been watching, hopefully you've been joining along and making some money together. But yeah, let me do a brief recap of what we did last week. We went 2-1 yet again. Lost our prop of the day, which was a decision prop for Silva. We lost that one, but we did hit our underdog play of the day, which was Jonathan Martinez plus 220. And our favorite play of the night, it was Fight Doesn't Start Round 3, Krylov versus Spann. That one easily hit. I mean, that was a gift of a line. So hope you guys took advantage of it. Again, a winning week here on Best Bets, and that's been I've lost track of how many winning weeks, but I'm sure we're way ahead of the game here. So with that being said, we will start out with our first pick of the night, and that is our favorite prop of the night. That is going to be in the Jake Hadley versus Malcolm Gordon fight, and I really love Jake Hadley in this spot. I'm gonna go with Jake Hadley by knockout plus 255 currently on Bet Rivers and Unibet. And this is my breakdown of this fight. Malcolm Gordon, coming off a third round stoppage to Muhammad Mokaev, was not a bad look. He looked actually a lot better than I thought he was going to look. Scrambled well on the ground, on the feet, kind of made Mokaev uncomfortable, but Mokaev is primarily a grappler. He's not really a striker. He likes to get the fight to the ground, and we know Malcolm Gordon is pretty decent down there. He's a Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt. Yes, he's been submitted, but he also has a lot of submissions, and he's dangerous down there. He made it uncomfortable for Mokaev at certain points of that fight, but he eventually got submitted in the third round. On the other side, Jake Hadley. What have I seen from this guy? All I've seen is improvements. This guy's getting better. I mean, this guy, here's the difference between Mokaev and Hadley. Hadley has great boxing, great hands that can work the body, and we saw it in his last fight. I mean, he crumbled Candelario with body shots, eventually getting him out of there. Hadley looked very impressive in his loss to Nascimento, who's a huge guy for the division at 125. And he was rolling around with a BJJ black belt who's very high level. And it was a competitive fight, eventually losing to Nascimento. But here in this fight, I see the boxing. I see the pressure eventually getting to Malcolm Gordon, who to me does seem very chinny, does not have the best chin. And Jake Hadley will definitely test that chin with big power punches, big body work, eventually dropping Malcolm Gordon's hands, eventually going up top and getting that KO. So give me Jake Hadley by knockout plus 255, currently on Bet Rivers and Unibet. All right, let's move on to our second play of the night. And normally I would be giving you my favorite dog of the night, but on this card, I really had a hard time finding a dog that I really like. So I will give you another play that I really like on this card, and that is in the Chris Duncan Omar Morales fight. And that play is Fight Doesn't Start Round 3 minus 112, currently on FanDuel. And in this fight, Chris Duncan, Dana White's Contender Series alum, Fought twice there. Got hurt, got knocked out in the first time, got hurt really, really bad in the second time, and really close to being stopped, but then came back and nuked his opponent with a big right hand. Chris Duncan is the epitome of a kill or be killed type of fighter. Guy just goes in there, throws caution to the wind, has no defense on the feet, so he gets clipped a lot. But if he finds your chin, I mean, this guy hits extremely hard, has very strong leg kicks, throws to the body very hard. And now he's facing a guy in Omar Morales, who technically speaking is the much better overall UFC fighter. He has the striking, he has crisp striking, he has decent Brazilian jiu-jitsu. But the problem with Omar Morales is he's 37 years old. And now he's getting to that level where, you know, things start to wear down. And we saw it in his last fight. His chin gave up on him in his last fight, where he gets knocked out brutally in the second round by Uras Medic. The fight previous to that, he gets stopped by Jonathan Pierce via rear naked choke. And now he's facing, like I said, a guy in Chris Duncan who's a kill or be killed type of fighter. He's going to go in there, throw caution to the wind. And Omar Morales does like to exchange on the feet. So I could see either one of these guys getting knocked out here. I would not be surprised if it was in the first round. Like I said, Chris Duncan just comes out for war. In his interview this week, he said he's coming out to put on a show and be the usual Chris Duncan, which is what I like to hear. So I see an early stoppage here one way or the other. So fight doesn't start round 3, minus 112. I think that's a little off there. So that will be my play for this one, replacing the dog of the night. It will be fight doesn't start round 3, minus 112, Chris Duncan, Omar Morales. You can get that currently on FanDuel. All right, before I move on to my favorite play of the night, I do want to shout out our sponsor, which is Bet365, and we have one of the best promos out there for Bet365 right now. All you have to do is deposit $10, make a $1 bet, and then you will get $365 in bonus bets. So deposit 10, place a $1 wager, and get $365 in bonus bets that you can use on this very UFC 286 card. However, I do want to mention that this is only available in 4 states currently, and that's Colorado, New Jersey, Virginia, and Ohio. The other thing is you must be 21 or older in order to gamble in most states. And also, if you have a gambling problem, please call or text 1-800-GAMBLE. All right, let's move on to our favorite play of the night, and that is in the Christian Leeroy Duncan versus Dusko Todorovic fight. And I really like Christian Leeroy Duncan as a whole, as a prospect. Man, 7-0, undefeated, coming into the UFC, and now he's fighting in his own turf. Christian Leeroy Duncan minus 215 on DraftKings. Very, very good line in my opinion. Dusko Todorovic, let's go on his side first. Man's 3-3 in the UFC. His 3 wins in the UFC are against fighters that are no longer in the UFC, so they were not UFC caliber fighters in my opinion. However, he has lost 3 times in the UFC. He has been stopped 2 out of those 3 times. In his last time out against Jordan Wright, he got the W in the second round, but he was almost stopped in that fight in the first round. I mean, he was beat pillar to post in that first round. Eventually, Jordan Wright got tired, like usual, and Dusko took over in the second round, eventually finished him. Fight before that, Chidi Njokuani absolutely lit him up with an elbow in the clinch, knocked him out. And now the problem here for Dusko is he's going into Christian Leeroy Duncan's hometown. Christian Leeroy Duncan is a big prospect in the UFC's eyes, in my opinion. They're letting him fight in his hometown, in his debut. And that's just for reasons that they believe that this guy is a big prospect for them. The other thing is Christian Leeroy Duncan, young 27-year-old prospect, very good size, very good skill, extremely athletic, very, very good striking. And his striking is very flashy. I mean, you see with his knockouts, he's got a spinning elbow knockout. a head kick knockout, a flying knee knockout. I mean, this guy has all of them, and he's very flashy. He's very explosive. And when people have tried to get this guy to the ground, like a guy like Will Curry, who's a Cage Warrior guy that has very, very good wrestling, had a really tough time because Christian Leeroy Duncan does all the right things to defend takedowns, has a good get-up game, and like I said, on the feet, extremely dangerous. So I see this fight standing for the most part. I know Dusko is going to try to get this fight to the ground. I don't think it's going to be successful. And that's where Christian Leeroy Duncan takes over on the feet and possibly gets Dusko out of there in the second round. So with that being said, I love the Christian Leeroy Duncan money line minus 215 currently on DraftKings. Let's go over a quick recap of our 3 plays today. We're going to start out with our favorite prop of the day, and that is Jake Hadley by knockout plus 255, currently to be had on Bet Rivers or Unibet. For our second play of the night, that is the replacement for our dog of the night. It is the fight doesn't start round 3. Chris Duncan versus Omar Morales, currently to be had on FanDuel at a minus 112 tag. Our last but not least favorite play of the night, it is going to be Christian Leeroy Duncan moneyline minus 215, currently to be had on DraftKings. All right, before we get out of here, link down below for our Discord channel. First week, half off. Go in there, click that link, and come join our great community. Also, Bet365 promo, the best promo out there. Bet $10. Deposit $10. Bet $1. Get $365 in bonus bets. And the link is also down there below. One other thing on the way out, do me a favor, hit the like, subscribe. It helps out a lot. And then once you're subscribed, hit that notification button so you can get all my videos that come on this Odd Chopper channel, along with the other sharp minds that we have a bunch of great content here. So make sure you hit that notification button so you can get all our videos here at the Odd Chopper channel. And then with that being said, guys, I will see you guys next week for UFC San Antonio, and let's cash those tickets.